off by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilman Roman, would you say a prayer for us, please?
Dear Lord, we come before you. Thank you for your grace and mercy. Thank you for another day that you allowed us to come together as your children. We ask you to continue to bless us and anoint us and keep us. Father, I ask you to give us leadership, guidance, so that we can do what is right for the time of that and for the citizens all over the world. Father, I ask you to just stay and keep us in your corner and give us the wisdom, power, and glory to do your will. These blessed nights in your name.
Amen. Welcome everybody tonight. Councilman Mason will be with us, hopefully, a little after 7. He called earlier and said he had some personal business to attend to. First order of business, I would like to ask the council for permission to amend the agenda tonight. I got some late news this afternoon that should be very interesting to all citizens of Latta. So at this time, I would like to ask for an amendment to the agenda in reference to the roads in the municipality of Latta. Need a second? Got a second?
You would like me to
Put it on the agenda. I think that's the minutes to.
So I got it.
Yes, what I passed out. Yes, that's what I want to do is put that on the agenda. So I've got a second. Any discussion? Any more discussion? All right, can I get a roll call? Starting with Melinda.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Thank you very much. At this time, has everyone got a moment? I think Rebecca, did you print out any minutes? Or did you put them up there in the boxes? Okay, you just gave some out. At this moment, I'd like everyone to take a moment to look over the August 13th, 2020 regular meeting, and I need a motion to accept those minutes.
Make a motion to accept it.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
Very well. Can I get a roll call starting with you, Ms. Robinson?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Number 5, county fire tax. I guess I'll take this one. As some of you know, the county council called about 3 weeks ago, and they spoke with me about possibly talking to council about the inclusion of Latta into a county fire tax. So before I get to talking about that particular meeting and what's transpired in the last 3 weeks, let me go back and explain to everybody what exactly transpired about 4, 5, 6 years ago. We found ourselves in a huge budget deficit. We wanted to figure out a way out of that budget deficit. So myself and the other members of council at that time decided to take some stringent cuts to our budget and see if we could catch up, which we did. I'm very proud of that. One of the things we looked at was, at the moment, we were paying in excess of $15,000 for workers' compensation for fire service members. I don't know the exact number. I think it was a little bit more than that, but I'm safe to say $15,000. It was more than that. Several of the fire members and the fire chief at the moment came to me and several other council members and said, look, what we've been doing for years and years and years in the name of keeping the Latta Fire Department is doing double service. When the Latta fire truck rolls through a city fire, so does the county. The Latta firefighters, the Latta volunteer firefighters are the same volunteer firefighters as the county's volunteer firefighters. So I called up the county, and at the moment it was Clay Young, and I said, look, we're trying to pinch some pennies over here. The town and the county is sort of paying the same folks double coverage to do the same job. The same equipment's being used. What do you think about combining this? And at the moment, and I guess I could provide anybody that wants a copy of the contract that we entered into, but at the moment, Clay said, sure, that sounds like a no-brainer. It's not going to cost us any more on the county side of things, and it's going to save you guys money. We've got to pay for the fire service anyhow, so sure, we'll do it in exchange. And in the contract, it says in exchange for use of the town fire building. So up there at Town Hall, the county has 5 bays, I think, dedicated to it, and an office space that they have turned into as quasi-living quarters. So flashback 3 weeks ago, and I'll try to make this brief. It's not really that brief, but I'll try to make it brief. I get a call from the now acting administrator, Clay Young, and he wanted to know what I thought about the addition of fire tax for the citizens of Latta. Because the county had been paying a fire tax for almost, I think, 4 or 5 years, maybe longer than that. But I knew the county was already paying it. The only folks in the county, in Dillon County, that weren't paying that fire tax were City of Latta residents and Lakeview residents, and of course Dillon residents weren't paying it because Dillon provided their own service. So Lakeview and Latta had given up their fire service, and they wanted to include Lakeview and Latta into that fire tax. And I said, well, I have mixed feelings about it, and I still honestly have mixed feelings about it. I think if you're not going to cut the fire budget, and you're going to turn and roll that fire tax back over into making our fire service in this part of the county better, I think that's a good thing. I think it would probably put some strains on some certain folks, but I think for the most part it would be a very good thing because it would provide more service with better equipment and maybe even a faster response time. I don't know. But you can never, I don't think, for the men and women that protect us, I don't think you can ever put enough money into what they do to make them safer and to make us safer. So I said, if you're going to keep the budget the same and add that tax and make sure it comes back to this area, I think the people will be okay with it for the most part. I said, but I would like for us to sit down and talk about this as a council, a town council to a county council discussion. Then a couple of days later, I received an email from a county employee, and it was a contract. In that contract was things that I never thought I would see. It was just the wording of the contract and the way the contract had read. So at that point that night, I emailed my council and the administrator, Young, the same email, and I basically said, look, this isn't doing what we agreed and what we talked about. As a matter of fact, it doesn't have any of that language into it. And the next day, I talked to the Latta representative for the county, or at least the municipal representative, Buzzy Finkley, and he said he strongly opposed adding the fire tax. He had voiced that many times, and that several other councils were holding it over some other council members' heads that they weren't going to pass the budget without that inclusion. And then I asked him, I said, well, can we set up a meeting up here to talk about it? You, the county administrator, the town council, whoever wanted to come from the town to ask questions about this particular thing. He agreed. I got a call, I think, from Clay or somebody from the county, and we set the meeting up to be Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Some of you might have seen my Facebook post. Well, Monday afternoon rolls around, and I get a call, and it basically stated that they had withdrawn the idea of including a $55 tax on this budget. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys will have to double check me, but I think they had already passed 2 readings of the budget already, so they were on their 3rd reading. So they decided to withdraw the $55 tax from Lakeview and Latta and work towards something different next year. And Wednesday rolled around, and I got another call from a citizen out in the county, and they said, look, I don't know whether you know it or not, but that $55 is back on the table, and I don't think anybody's told anybody from Latta. As a matter of fact, it's going to be included in the next budget. So I called County Councilman, Chair Steve Grice, and Stevie and I had about a 3-hour conversation on this $55 tax, to which I would like to sum up with you guys right now in about 10 minutes, hopefully. And what I told him was, I felt like the town of Latta and the constituency here did things for the county that no other town is providing the county from this standpoint of the county. And he asked, what was I talking about? I said, well, last time I checked, our recreation charge is the same as, whether you're from the county or whether you're from the town, our recreation charge is the same per kid, either way. Our line item on our budget last time I checked was about $100,000 for recreation. The county gets $15,000. Jermaine can probably attest to in about 8 to 10 more months if you did the numbers and looked at the number of in-town children that play versus out-of-town children. Out-of-town children outnumber in-town children about 3 to 1. Which means we do a substantial service to the county by providing something local for the children of Floydale and Oak Grove, which is a great thing. That's something we should do. But nonetheless, the county has not upped their contributions to that, only been given $15,000. Probably since before you were mayor the first time.
Well, they've only given 10 when I went in.
So
then I got it up to 15.
And roughly what, I hate to put you on the spot, but roughly what year do you think that is?
15. I probably got it my second year, but it had been 10,000 way back since your grandfather was on council.
And that was my argument with Jerry.
Clay told me to ask for 20 and I might get 15.
Right, so,
I
and that was my point, but they've got
But
almost,
we should get more now.
well, we've got almost 70% of our kids coming from the county, but we've got less than 20% of our budget coming from the county. So I felt like that's something that the citizens of Latta did for the county, and that's fine. That's, like I said, that's great. I'm not making any bones about it. I'm just calling apples to apples and oranges to oranges. The other thing we did was we were giving them the fire department for $1. Town citizens were paying for the insurance. Town citizens were paying for the electrical bill and anything else that occurred up there. We took care of the bill, which was in the agreement. That's what we agreed to. Another thing that was a bit of an issue to me personally was the fact that county pumpers hooked up to the town water system. And sometimes I think some of the leaks came as a result of some of those fires being fought and the stresses that fighting fires put on the system. And we weren't charging them for water at all. But everybody in this room, if you're from the town of Latta, was paying to process and treat that water and pull it up out of the ground. But the biggest thing, and what I want to point out to my council tonight, is back in the mid to late 80s, we ran a sewer line all the way out to 181. We did it with the help of the county, we did it with the help of the Commerce Department in hopes that we would make a commercial effort out of the 181. So, what I tried to get Chairman Grice to understand was between property taxes, accommodation taxes, and hospitality taxes, and the last two you pay a little bit on every single time you spend $1 out there. I felt that the county had received well in excess of what they were asking us to pay for fire tax. And in return, they had not paid anything on the maintenance of that particular line, to my knowledge, ever. What they did do was they gave back some money that came from a failed project a long time ago, but strictly designated for that particular purpose of maintenance of that line. I don't think anybody ever offered you.
They didn't pay for anything.
Right.
Whenever I was in office before.
So Chairman Grice still couldn't understand what exactly that meant or how that meant. So what I want to tell you guys tonight, my council, I did this 15 minutes before, and I purposely did it 15 minutes because I wanted to see how long it would take me to figure out how much that line was worth to the Dillon County. So, if you'll bear with me, I'm gonna read out some things. Flying J, $121,000 and some odd cents in taxes on one property. And this is just me searching on the line. $35,000 on another property. $20,000 on another piece of property they got. And I might not be right, but this, like I said, this is me searching in 15 minutes. And this is the parent company of Flying J, and I don't think they've got anything else in Dillon County, and all these addresses were out there or near exit 181. $40,000 on another piece of property. Not the BP station, whatever the other station is that houses McDonald's. No, Shell. The Shell station paid $26,000 last year in taxes. The hotel down the road, which we're fixing to hook up to another hotel, is $32,600. So I didn't add all that up. I'm just sitting here working off the fly just to show you how well and how quick I can impress upon everybody sitting here today how much that property means to the county. That property will not be developed if you don't hook to the Latta sewer system. That property would have never been hooked or developed.
Jared, we furnished sewer out in Signal and out that way.
Right.
And also
Didn't even cover that. I just covered 181. I agree with you though. So
that's for the county, is what I was.
that's just property taxes. That's not accommodations and that's not hospitality sales tax. I asked the Department of Revenue for those numbers, couldn't get them. But I think it's safe to say, I didn't add it up, but I got well over $200,000 worth of benefits that the county has gotten just from one sewer line that's 6 miles out of our jurisdiction that we can't get anything from. So, what I was met with at the county council meeting, Chairman Grice gave me the opportunity to come plead my case like I just tried to do to you guys, minus the whole bringing up the taxes. I did tell him to list everything else, and 4 of my council members were there. And you guys can go see it online if you want to. They sat and looked at me for several seconds and went right into a vote and basically blew off everything I said. So, now is the time I would like to give my town council, I'd like to afford them the time to talk about it since we were not afforded a meeting like we were promised to discuss it. We were just afforded 10 minutes before their final reading. So,
I think your suggestion the other day in the office, that we grandfather those that we're extending sewer service to out there, cut off the rest of them, and let the county take care of it. Let them send out there to get some. I agree with what you said. Well, that was just in the office. But if you still want to say that, I wholeheartedly agree with it.
I would like to make one more point as I look around the room. If they would have put a millage on, a fire millage as suggested, and there's a reason I'm saying this, if they would have put a fire millage on as I'm suggesting them, the senior citizens and those that needed it most would have probably got huge breaks if not everything paid at all. Or excuse me, if not, they had to pay anything at all. So, I don't know what you guys live in. As I look around the room, I'm sure you could go through different size houses, different types of houses. But I can guarantee you none of us live in a place like Wyoming Gordon or Harbor Freight or Flying J. Those places pay the same fire fee as you pay. And I suggested doing 2 separate, a residential and an industrial, and that was, I don't know that I did it at the meeting. I might have. Did I suggest 2 separate things? Did I?
And I thought they said they were going to revisit that.
Well, the reason I just said what I said is because I did receive a phone call, and I know several county council members are about to change, and I did receive a phone call from a county representative asking, would we be happier with just a fire millage? And honestly, I said yes to begin with. As I sit here today and I thought about it after speaking with our counsel, our legal counsel, and I discussed this with her last night, and she wants to give me her opinion possibly tomorrow or first of next week. She brought up a very good point. How can you promise something that's going to happen next year from a council that's not even sitting there? So back to what you said, Mayor. I was asked from the county officials, some of them, what did I think was fair? And what I think is fair, after sitting here and thinking about it for days and days, if not 3 weeks that it's been proposed to me, what I think is fair is, I think the millage is fair, but I also think that Latta should be getting a certain percentage of what the county gets off of 181. And the reason I say that is because I know it's in the bank account right now for the water and sewer department. I know what's about to come out of the bank account for the water and sewer department. And Councilman Mason, how much room do you think we have in the bank account if something breaks down at one of those pump stations to pay for major improvement to that 6 miles of sewer? Because you are intimately familiar with the bank as well.
Well, based on what we pay monthly on and what we've been taking in, we probably have about 20,000, 30,000 we can put towards one of those repairs.
Last time I checked, if I'm not mistaken, Rebecca, you can correct me, but I think when that panel went down out at the industrial park, I think that panel alone, without any hourly wages put into the fix of the things, I think the panel alone cost about $30,000, didn't it? Yeah. So I know of 3 pump stations. We've got one across from Flying J, we've got one behind Wilco, and we've got one behind industrial side at 995. If 2 of those 3 go down,
The one behind Wilco went down when I was in office before, it cost us plenty.
yeah, went down again with us as well. So, I'm not asking the county to fund Latta's water and sewer system, but I think they could very well easily take 5 or 10% off of everything they collect out there, put in a bank account strictly for a rainy day fund to fix that particular stretch of sewer. I think, and to me, the millage and that is fair.
So that's what you're gonna offer?
That's what it brings
Well,
up.
that's what we're talking about.
It's up to you guys, but that's what it brings up to me. I think that's fair.
I think we need skin out there. We got skin in the game at 181, we need money from it. That's crazy.
Because a lot of growth is coming out there, we would like to have that growth. We don't want to cut it off, if we can get something for serving them, we need it.
Anybody else got anything to say?
I like millage and I like the money from 181.
Maybe you should make it clear, because some people ask me, they think that every individual has to pay that tax, but it's just a property owner, right?
It's per property ID. So if you have 118, I have 3 structures on my property, but it's a $55 tax.
But all three.
For everything at my
Everything's on your
for
one
my 1
property.
acre of land, everything on that 1 acre of land is $55. Now, if you own rental houses, you're gonna pay $55 for your primary house, $55 for each individual structure. If you have a primary house plus a business, again, you're gonna pay $250.
But the renters don't have to pay.
The renters do not have to pay, but I imagine the owners of those houses, if their prices go up, I imagine they're passing along to their renters.
Jerry, you might want to go through the millage breakdown, just to, that's not something that most people have to deal with.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to talk about everything they did. So, what Joe's asking me about is, there was 4 mil increase in your taxes for the county that was passed as well. And a lot of folks got upset about it, a lot of folks ended up calling me about it. And from what I understand, for a $100,000 house, it's $4 increase in your taxes. So if you got a $100,000 house, it's $4. If you got a $50,000 house, it's $2. And I don't know that it's that easy to figure it on out down the road. Is that how it can be done virtually?
More or less, yeah.
So for every $50,000 your house is worth, you'll pay $2 extra in your taxes per meal. So $8 for a $4 mil increase. That would be
Yeah, I was just wanting everybody to understand that that's what we were talking about earlier, so that you won't pay the same as Wyman Gordon or a large corporation. It will be broken down on your property.
Yeah, the
It's a fair way to-
fire millage is you pay for what your
Correct.
property's worth as opposed to a flat rate.
Correct.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the other, I thought you were talking about the tax increase. Any questions?
Did you discuss the advantage of doing bills as far as?
Yes, yes, if you have the fire millage on, anybody that gets homestead, from what I've been told, they exempt having to pay the extra stuff, and I don't know who all gets homestead, because I'm not that smart tax wise. I just know it helps out. certain folks that need the help will get that help if fire millage is put on.
Do you have that proposal in writing with them, or do you need to get that?
No, that would have to be got. So, would I guess at this point in time, would council like to discuss it with the county, or is council satisfied with me discussing that particular proposal with the county?
I'm comfortable with the 2 points we just made, yeah. I mean, if there's any drastic changes, you know, I think we should discuss it again. Other than that,
I think we should just let you discuss it with them, because you don't want to confuse them or anything, all of us together.
Any other questions? All right, so the next thing I've got, I'm gonna do this before departmental reports because I'm antsy and I'm actually quite tickled about it. Anyway, I'll give you guys a backstory on this as well. About 4 or 5 years ago, Councilman Mason and myself were called before a group of citizens to answer some questions. It was a nice, friendly conversation. Nobody had ever asked a question before. It's kind of neat to see that some folks had actually taken an interest in going out of their way to set up a meeting to ask questions about water, sewer, and the road situation. And the last few years, we've been kind of back and forth between this group of folks and between our Dillon County delegation. Senator Kent Williams, Representative Jackie Hayes was included, and also Representative Lucas Atkinson was included. And a lot of it's been about town improvements and what we can do and bouncing ideas off each other's heads. And so I'm proud to say we talked about it. We've been talking about it for the last, really seriously, about the last 6 to 8 months with Senator Williams. He assured me an agreement would be made. And today I received a call from Director Christy Hall of the South Carolina Department of Transportation. And what I would like to read to my council is the letter that the director sent to us and explain what it means. Dear Town of Latta, this letter is to advise you and members of the Town Council that I propose to revise our previous agreement with the Town of Latta regarding utility relocation costs and road swaps. The original October 2011 agreement covered an estimated $548,000 in utility relocation costs and a transfer of 11 miles of road to the town in exchange for SCDOT bearing the town's utility relocation expenses associated with the roadway project. The 11 miles of state-owned roads were transferred to the town of Latta in 2012, 2013, and 2014. The actual cost of the town's utility relocation was $942,954.55. This exceeded the original agreement by $394,954.55 and resulted in the SCDOT requesting that the town of Latta reimburse the department for additional expenses several times over the past few years. Since becoming secretary, this issue has been brought to my attention. I am from a rural area of the state, and I understand how challenging it can be for rural areas to bear a large unanticipated expense. Additionally, since 2011, we have revised our method for calculating the value of state-owned roads. In this situation, this new road valuation calculation works to the advantage of the town, and I propose that we utilize it retroactively for this situation. Based on the new valuation, I am proposing that SCDOT take the vast majority of the previously transferred roads back into the state system as shown on the attached map. I passed one of these. That's your map in red, guys. The town will retain the alleys, Mill Street, Lightning Street, and southeast and northeast Railroad Avenue, which based on the new road value calculation is approximately enough to offset the $952,954.55 and actual utility relocation costs. This proposal will resolve all outstanding financial issues between SCDOT and the town of Latta regarding the utility relocation associated with the I-73 Tiger Grant project. I trust this proposal is acceptable to the town, and I intend to proceed accordingly. Please feel free to contact me if the town has any concerns. So other piece of paper I passed out to you guys is the legal side of things. I'd like to pause a few minutes, let you, I don't want to read 4 pages of legal terms, but it basically states in this exactly what I just read you in the short abbreviated thing. If the town council of Latta approves this, I sign it and send it back to Secretary Hall tomorrow. According to what she said, if everything goes as planned, effective next Thursday, the state will take back over everything else except for the alleys, Mill Street, Lightning Street, Southeast, Northeast Railroad Avenue.
Did they give any reason, I can't see it, why they're not taking Lightning Street? That's one of our worst streets in town.
Well, I'm looking at this map, and I read what she said, but I'm looking at this map, and if you look in red, and I'm sorry, I don't have a way to show you guys, but if you look in red, they take East Lightner Street, and it looks to me like they take Lightner Street from, West Lightner Street from 301 to Marion Street, which is right below. So it looks like from the first bank back down to Latimer, to me, it looks like they take it back. I can get clarification on that tomorrow.
The rest of it's out of town.
There's just a little stretch right there
So they
from Henry Street back to Marion Street.
So they will accept the main part that's so bad, do by the bank, no matter.
That's the way the map looks.
Yeah.
The map is
Yeah,
that
Which, so the map, she was asking about Wagner Street. Since Wagner Street being so bad, why didn't they take that back? I said, if you look at it, the red part is what they're taking back, as I understand it to be. And from Railroad Avenue, which is the first bank, all the way back to the town limits past Latimer is red, highlighted red. The only thing on Lightning Street not highlighted is the part from Henry Street back to Marion Street, which is the short part right beside the,
Why are you taking that?
I don't know, but they really are giving us a good.
It's the work part. Well, that's the part of the nice.
State and government. State and government.
I mean, why students in those places there?
I don't know, but at the moment we're sitting here, my grandma told me never let the gift horse in the mouth. I think we're pretty lucky to get rid of 90% of it. I mean, we had 11 miles, they gave us 1 mile out of 11, they're taking 10 miles back. That's pretty doggone good. That's, at what I've been estimating everybody, when everybody drops and complains about the road, I say, if you Google the cost of 1 mile of road in the state of South Carolina, 1 mile of road runs about $1.2 million. So they're giving us $1.1 million worth of road.
Is that true? Is that true that actually costs that much?
Yes.
Is that true?
When they put it on.
If they put a whole new road in, yeah, you gotta go down to the bedrock. It's very expensive. Very.
Regardless of what they're taking back is $1 million worth of responsibility for the town of Latta.
Well, I make the motion, we accept the proposal.
I'll second that.
I just got a question then.
Sure.
And I agree with this proposal, take what we got and run. CA miles is a lot better than 11. But, can we still should be able to get some help from the road commissioners on that 1 mile.
I think that would be very reasonable to ask. And
I think that we need, that they will help us do that mile.
I think so.
But on the whole, we dug a hole and they pulled us out. And we got to take it and run. And start praying maybe for the rest of it later on.
And big time we'll get it.
Thank
I think
you.
so. Any more questions?
I'm glad we did some of it. Burden hands were to the bush.
That's all we can. So at this moment in time, I'd like to take a roll call on this. Aye. Thank you very much. I'll sign and return it to the Secretary Hall tomorrow. Very happy. At this time, I would like to do departmental reports. And I'm going to do it a little bit different than we used to because we've got some new faces. So instead of putting people on the spot, I'm kind of put some of my council members on the spot. So between Councilman Robinson and Councilman Drawhorn, and y'all announced the new rec director, and let's all welcome him, and I think we'll alleviate his ability to have to give a report tonight. He can just talk to us about what he wants. Cool. So you go ahead. Whichever one you want to announce, go ahead.
Would you please stand?
What's his name?
This is Brother Jermaine Wright.
Jermaine Wright.
Jermaine Wright. He's our new Park and Recreation Director. He started with us the first of the month, well, a couple of days last month, but basically the first of the month. He's working hard, he's reviving a lot of stuff and trying to get stuff going. It's a full-time job. I apologize because I knew he's supposed to have a report, but I forgot to tell him he needs a report. So his report is through me. He's doing an outstanding job. He's working real hard. He's working with the citizens, and I'd just like to welcome him to the town. I'm sure he's going to do an outstanding job. He's doing an outstanding job. I'm sure he's going to continue. Mr. Wright, do you have anything you would like to say to the town? Before we go there, we took and went through all the evaluations, drug tests and everything, made sure that he was good. And sometimes it makes you think he's not the drug the way he worked, because he worked like a slave sometimes. But I just want to tip my hat because he's doing an outstanding job, and he's requesting your help from the community because he don't know everything. He's learning, but what he's learning and what he has learned is outstanding. Now, if you have, Sister Melinda, you got something you want to add?
Everything that I've seen, he has done a great job. I've seen him reach out to Dillon, Lakeview. I thank Dillon and Lakeview for helping him. I have seen him work with the community, the ones in the community that have helped him. I want you to continue to work with him. We're looking for great things, and I thank you for what you've done so far.
I want to thank y'all for this opportunity, and I'm very excited for the future of the rig. Well, thank you.
And he has a lot of stuff he has to get right on track.
All right.
A lot of stuff is got to be redid and remodeled. I come out too much sometimes, but every time I come, he's in a new adventure doing something creative for the town. Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
And I also would like to introduce his brother. He's his sidekick. He's been right by his side, Jeffrey well, Jamaica right. Thought I would mess it up here.
I'll take the newest member, Jason Welch. Step on up. Right here. Come on. Yeah, I saw you. Lyle Hayes resigned from the town of Latta last Wednesday. And in a frank fury, we took some applications. What I hope that we get out of Mr. Welch is hopefully a code enforcement person. And I think he sees that he's got some things he wants to work on. Today was his first day on the job, so he's a little probably a little overwhelmed at the moment. But unfortunately, he starts at a very busy time of the year. So we're finishing up with the growing season, and the grass is growing like crazy, and he's having locates. He just kind of got thrown into the whole entire thing. There's a lot going on in Latta between construction and everything else, and then the normal activities and daily duties that you normally have to take care of. So I want to welcome him and let Councilman Mason be like the same thing on his behalf as well. Glad to be.
Appreciate the opportunity. Now, my office is in town, so if you need to get a hold of that's fine. Anytime, you're welcome to stop by and talk or ask questions or ask something that we need. Because a lot of times he's in the other
I didn't know him, I gave him a break.
Appreciate that. Give me at least a week.
He was waiting on me though.
I was waiting.
He was waiting on me over there.
And don't go up to the.
He didn't know who I was when I picked the sign up out front, the grass sign. He said, I appreciate you picking that up. I said, well, it's my first day up here, so trying to get around one, I didn't know who he was.
Watch
And I didn't know who I was talking to at the time. I was like,
Let's go over here and hang out at the Tiger Farm for 52, so.
yeah. I see him right where he is all the time.
Good. I'm
Clean
saying,
up there.
I'll call your name with the initial,
Just look for call.
Anybody else?
Welcome.
Appreciate it. Glad you had it.
Well,
Appreciate it. Thanks, sir. Thank you.
are you still working on the sign?
Do what?
Are you still doing any electrical things on the
I've
sign?
got a few customers that they need something.
After hours.
That's why I told all the customers, you know, put it off to the side right now. Thank you, man. Chief?
Oh, I thought that was gonna be mine.
Do what? I'm just calling him. He don't care about you. I'm just kidding.
I don't really have much other than what was in my report. I want to thank my guys for what they do on a daily basis, especially one of them. He's hiding out here. David, he gets out, he goes out and polices the street, and on the days off, he goes up there and works on our EOC. And those of you that's been in there, you know this is a classroom that's been transformed into our living quarters for storms, or if we're meeting as a town for our classes and stuff, that's where we meet. And now we have a stove in there, we have some beds that we had donated, well, for the majority they were donated. I think as a whole, and I was thinking of numbers today, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the town's probably only out of about $3,000 total for that EOC building because everything's been donated. But David's put a lot of time into that building. Thank him for what he does. The other thing I really want to hit on down here, I told y'all at the beginning of the year I was going to kind of hold off on applications to kind of get some applications in because our application pool was low. Well, we had 10 applicants. 3 of them didn't want to come because they had other districts going on, they wanted to go somewhere else. But we called the rest of them to schedule a date for them to come test, which was this past Tuesday. 3 showed up, 1 passed the test. So we're going to continue the process. I don't know how well that's going to go, but I do know that we still have 1 position open. I don't know how well it's going to go. I don't know what we need to do for the future. I'm looking at other departments our size to try to see what kind of incentives that they're doing to try to get some, you know, to try to give them an incentive to even come here. And with the things going on in the nation today, they ain't many want to be a police officer.
We got 1 position after this one, or this?
No, we have 1 position now. Like I said, I don't know how that's going to go. I'm sure always you know about how I do the hiring process now. Whenever I took over as chief, you know, we get applications, we run their criminal record, their driver's license, and if they make it through that, they go before the lieutenant or either Corporal Cooper, and they take a post test. It's a police officer selection test. It's a national test. It's recommended by the South Carolina Chiefs Association, so we utilize that test. It costs us $10 or $15 a test to give it, but it kind of gives us an idea of how they're going to do it at the academy. It assesses their reading, writing, math skills. So it lets us know they have to make a 70 to pass it. It's not a very difficult test. I think it's on a 10th grade education. So it's not very difficult. But anyways, once they take that test, if they pass that test, they go before a panel interview. Some of you may have sit on that panel before, either sit in the room with that panel, I've seen anywhere from 4 to 7 people. And that's not including myself. I try not to sit on that board. Because once they leave that panel interview, that's when they come to me for my interview. And then they have to go for its alcoholic evaluations and drug testing and all that other kind of boring stuff. But at any rate, you know, it's not a profession that people want to just jump out in, especially, and like I got in the beginning of y'all's report, these guys and girls, they leave their family at home, and they come into Latta, and they get out here and they walk Main Street, they check on our businesses, they interact with the kids, they get out, they do whatever, they change a tire in the middle of the rain. This was just yesterday. They do good things, and then when they stop traffic, or get out there and they stop people for a traffic violation, they get cussed at, called bad names, disrespected, not only as a police officer, but as a human being. So, if nothing else, I appreciate y'all, and I know that a lot of these people in this room here appreciate y'all and the things that y'all do. There again, I invite all y'all to the EOC, get down there and take a look at it. It's not finished yet, but once it's finished, Jared brought up the idea of having a open house or something. Maybe we can get Miss Betsy out there, and maybe some community members. Someone's already been sniffing around, but anyways, I think it's going to be a great asset for the town. When the judge makes her a great chicken salad, she has to go home and make it. Once we get this set up over there, we've actually talked to our IT man, we're going to be able to access our server. If we never get internet.
I got some.
Okay. If we never get internet, we're going to be able to access our server from the EOC at the town hall. I think we're saying that right. By laptop. So, good things are coming. You see down on the bottom of the report, I talk about NCIC and vehicles. This is something I've been working on since the first of the year, and I missed the last 2 meetings, but Josh stood in for me. NCIC and vehicles gives us access to be able to run people for warrants, check their driver's license and stuff in the vehicle and stop them. So that's going to be very good, and possibly not just time saving, but could be life saving for our little department. Anyway, that's all I've got going on. I want to talk about a drone a minute. We've had a few calls recently where we've had to deploy the drones for the county and for the town. I know Lieutenant Holt put it up one time during our chase and was actually able to help apprehend whoever it was that was running the suspect by that drone, and the suspect was kind of surprised when he looked up and seen the drone. We told y'all about the few here at the beginning we worked out the drone, but me and Casey just took the drone out Wednesday this week and helped the county recover a $3,700 piece of equipment. We weren't in the air 5 minutes. As I put in the council report before, I'm sure Josh covered it, we have 3 pilots now. It's going to be 4. But I expect a lot of stuff to come from that too. So the drones are being used, and so far we haven't had to use it for a missing person or anything like that, but I feel like the drones are really going to pay for it. So just having that right there and being able to set it up. Like I said, Wednesday, I went in the air 5 minutes and we found that piece of equipment. Any questions?
This one that showed up, that you guys got before you yet?
No, sir. They just took the test. So he'll go through the rest of his interview process. He'll go before the panel. That's his next step. And, we have a part-time officer, or a couple part-time officers. Mr. Darren Yarborough, he's the Democratic Party running for the sheriff in Florence County. So we very well may lose him come November. And then, depending on the county race, I may lose one of my officers come January. So.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Getting past that, like false regulation, we need to get with you, Jermaine, we need to reset those cameras at the point, so that get the doors and stuff.
Well, I want to recommend, I think I talked to you that day down there, and we need to do this at the EOC, Jared and myself, and we talked about it a lot, maybe you can help us. We really need to build some
Cage.
cage doors, and it's subject we had this time, but that's, we need to build some type of cage doors to put on your bathrooms at parks. Because, Henry Street Park got the door kicked in, and we looked through that video down there, but we can't tell you. Trudy said he'd come up there, and I don't see him on the video, that's how fast he is. So,
Beg your pardon?
that's actually what said you on the video, you stood there.
You know how fast it is. I heard.
But if we can build those, cages over the doors, I look at you, I don't know if you remember or what, they're not, maybe I got one of them on my force too. I'm learning a lot about that.
It'll work something out.
Yeah, they're multi-talented. And that must be one of the questions they asked in my board interview. Do you have construction skills, have CDL, and you have my department got CDL? So it must be one of the questions they asked for me. But anyways, that may help down there at Henry Street Park down.
Anybody else? Thank you very much. Judge?
I have nothing outside of what I emailed. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Anybody got any questions?
I'd like to say thank you for what you do. Thank you to also.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Rebecca, have you got anything you want to add?
I just wanted to let everyone know, yesterday Judy informed me and Jared that September the 18th will be her last day working with us. Judy Watson in the office. So we'll be running an ad for someone to replace her. So if y'all know anybody that needs a job, and that's, just let us know.
Is our husband coming back?
I don't know anything about that.
That's a part-time job, that's part-time.
Well, it starts as part-time, we're hoping that somebody will go in and learn stuff and then it turns.
We really need someone in there full time.
Yes.
If they can come in and run all the responsibilities.
And I think it was a little bit more than what she thought it was going to be, so.
I think she's
Yeah, I think.
On the council reports, Councilman Robbins.
Good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to tell everybody good evening. Thank you all for coming. Welcome. It's good to see everybody. Welcome. Thank you, Jermaine, for being a part of the rec department. Mr. Welch for being a part of the street department. Things I'd like to discuss, town hall. Has been visiting town hall, it has come to, we're getting closer to the fall, winter, and I've noticed a lot of, how should I put this, mold or the moldy, musty odor, black mold maybe, and I'm kind of concerned. Has anyone looked into that? Because we're going to be turning on the heat for the ladies that's working up there. Has anyone looked into that? Because that could be a dangerous situation for them working up there. That's a concern of mine. And also the way that we go about job listings. Can we have a set way that we do across the board? Last week we discussed, last month we talked about putting them on job listings on Facebook. Ms. Rebecca just brought up, she's going to put a job listing in the newspaper. If we're going to have a job, can we put them all one way instead of one on Facebook, one in the newspaper, so that we can be transparent and just do all of them the same way? That's one of my concerns, that we just do things across the board. That's something that was one of my concerns for the board. as far as council, as I've been going around, I know, talking with, the chief, I wanted to tell him that I think he's been doing a great job. I'm riding around town, I started doing that a little bit, and I've noticed that his officers are very active in the community. A lot of them I'm not face to face with, they don't really know me. I don't really know them, but whenever I come in contact with them, they are very nice, very pleasant, very cordial, and I believe that comes from the leadership. And I wanted to tell you thank you, because I know that you have talked to me about the diversity and how you wanted to establish that. And I've noticed in the community, me being out, that they're doing that. I noticed how they talk and engage, and I actually wanted to acknowledge that here tonight. So last month, during this month, I started going out and trying to look around and see what's actually going on, and I noticed that. So I wanted to tell you thank you for implementing that. Thank you for what you're doing at the DLC. You're working hard, getting ready for the storm. Councilman Taylor, he is always working, and I've told him, you can't do everything. Every time I talk to him, he's on the go, always trying to do something, always. When I went to the county council meeting, his heart is the town. He's always trying to do something, and I'm here, and I've told him that I'm here to help. I'm not here to tear down, so anything I come to this council meeting with is because I have taken consideration. I'm not coming trying to come and cause anything, division, but I'm coming trying to work, trying to see where we can make it better. I want to thank Councilman Williamson. This month there was a little discrepancy, and he called me, and I want to tell you thank you. Thank you for calling me and talking to me with that little tip, like brothers and sisters do. I want to thank you for calling me. And any councilman, councilwoman, you got a problem, I'm here for you. I'm here to help. I'm here for the town, any citizen, anything you need. If you have a problem, if I can help you, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help build up and not tear down. Anything you want me to do, I'll do my best. If you just want me to sit there and support you, I'll do that too. I'm Melinda Robinson. You can go to the town hall, leave me a message, I'll get back with you. I'm always on the go. I'm not home sometimes. But if you leave a message, I'll call you back. And that's all I have.
Can I address a couple of those things?
Yes, you may.
I share one of those concerns with you.
Okay.
And I don't really know how to fix it. And I'll share it with the council and we'll discuss it. First of all, as far as the mold and everything, more than welcome to get somebody to come up there and check it. We've had it checked before, we've had it treated. As far as the roof is concerned, we called somebody about the roof. The roof is leaking a little bit, evidently around one of the little joints. And that's since we've gotten the roof replaced. So I'll go follow up with that call and see what's going on with that. If you can call the same folks that we got to check out the mold remediation last time and ask them if they've got time to check it out, maybe they can come up there and spray it and maybe something gets a little bit better. Now the job thing, that is an interesting quandary I have as well. Because without having to call any one particular person out to make an example of someone, and make an example of someone, if I give my notice today, today being Thursday, Dillon Herald having been run today, I give my 2 weeks notice and I do something special like what Jermaine just came in to do. And I've told Jermaine this countless times, and I apologize every single time I tell him. But he'll ask me questions, and I say, all I can tell you is what I know. I don't know everything. I don't know the ins and outs of things. So, this is the problem that I have, sitting in the position I have. If I'm the rec director and I take my knowledge with me, I give you a 2 weeks notice today, but I wait on the paper to come out Tuesday, I've just wasted about a fourth of my notice. If you're gonna take applications for 2 weeks, or even a week, and I think a week is a short time to take applications. But the way everything's set up, you can't take it long, because once that employee leaves, once the Dwayne leaves from the rec department, his knowledge goes with him. I can't teach Jermaine what Dwayne does. Luckily, Dwayne's reached out and offered Jermaine that knowledge. But it's the same way with Jason. Once Lyle left, he's got locates to do. I don't know how to do a locate. I don't think anybody else up here knows how to do a locate. So you're in a very precarious situation of being put under the gun because of a very small staff. A Dillon, a Florence. You know, they've got multiple people that do the same job, and probably if one of them falls down, the next one can come up and take their place for a short period of time. In Latta, so far I have not seen in the 8 years when a supervisor goes down, with the exception of the police department. You guys kind of have it down. But with the exception of the police department, I've never seen it where if a supervisor takes a vacation or a supervisor steps down, where too many people have been really willing or able to step up. And Brian, if you don't mind, I'll ask you to weigh in on this, because all too often, sometimes, especially in the street and water department, we find ourselves looking, because we do things that are a little bit different. Like I told you, I think the recreation and the police department are always the face of the town, just by virtue of what they do. So we like to include everybody's opinion a little bit as much as we can, or at least give people an option to help out with that process. Street and water department, not so much, because those are a certain set of skills that one sort of has to possess. You've got to be able to know how to work or fix some things, or how to fix a pipe, or how to do a leak. But there's certain things that right now, if Jason calls me tomorrow and says, hey man, I gotta go find a water meter over at Melinda's house and read her water meter, I'm gonna say, good luck with that, because I don't know how to do it. And that's a problem, because he doesn't have anybody else well, he does have somebody else that can potentially show him. But if you tell Jason to do a line locate, Jason, how many times have you located a line? And how many people have you got under you know how to do it?
I've got nobody underneath me knows how to do it. I've probably got 12 or so that's got it. I'm on the desk now from 2 weeks ago.
Is there anybody?
I'll find somebody that's going to eventually help me, but I've got to reach out.
That he could have it. We need to have a backup person, or somebody who's been here long enough that will know.
We talk, and you probably know this, but we have railed and railed. This is not the first council campus. We've railed people about teaching. We told supervisors, hey look, teach your subordinates how to do your job over and over and over and over again. And it just doesn't happen. And I think part of it is the staff we have is so small and there's so much to do that you really don't have time to do double duties and stick somebody in the car with another person, because that person has things to do their own. So it is a problem. I acknowledge it's a problem. I also acknowledge I don't know how to fix it. And it's a big problem. Now with Rebecca, and you brought that particular point up, the reason Rebecca can go and put it on in the newspaper is because Rebecca has all the knowledge. We can take, we've been at this 8 months trying to find somebody to help you out. Yeah. Okay, so we've been at this for 12 months. And I recognize the fact that it's driving you up the wall that you don't have any help. But on the backside of things, from a knowledge standpoint, the knowledge to do the job sits with Rebecca. Now, if Rebecca decided to quit, I would have the same problem that I'm currently having with rec director and the street director quit. If she gave me a 2 weeks notice today, and we all agreed to put it in the newspaper, the earliest the Dillon Herald could print it up and put it in there would be Tuesday. So that means, counting out roughly guesstimating, 4 or 5 days we go without somebody in the office. So at that point, we either, as council, decide we want to try to take up the calls and do it, and I don't know how to do it, or you shut town hall down, and you hope somebody knows how to come in and work right off the bat. So yeah, it is a problem.
I have some suggestions. That doesn't mean that it will be a quick fix either way, but from what I'm hearing, we need training. First of all, we'll start with management. When we hire a manager, I know since I've been on council, I made the mistake in thinking that you hire a manager, they know what management means and they know what to do. That is untrue for the most part. A manager, first of all, should find, as the mayor said, should find an assistant that can take care of his job upon his dismissal or absence. That out the gate, that's what you should do. But I suggest we do some, not only cross-training within departments, maybe some outside of department, interdepartmental training. Now, obviously, the street department can't be a police officer because he's off. I get that. But I mean, if you got rec, you got street, you got the town hall, you know, you guys can, we're all one team. You know, there's no reason why Jason can't help you. You're always going to have bathroom issues. Always. He's a plumber. He's a certified master plumber. He can help you. There's things like that. There's things you maybe could help him with when he's not there. Or, in other words, we're going to have to, we're small, but in my opinion, I think we're better because of it. I think we can reach outside of our own comfort zones and get some things done. Now, as far as the posting jobs, the reason I think Facebook, social media is the way to go is because of our time constraints. It's absolute and it's quick. If Derek quits today, we can have a posting to at least say, call Latta Town Hall for a police opportunity, a police department opportunity. We can have it up within minutes. And that compression of time we absolutely need because of what Jared just went through. But I think if we cross-train and we're comfortable amongst our departments, I think those vacuums we create when we leave will be lessened. Again, all that's extremely hard to get done. Those are just suggestions as to how to limit those things.
Well, like she said, a lot of people who are not on Facebook may take the Dillon Herald, but if you post it out front, and a case out there too, then if you do all three of those, you've done all you can to get somebody else. But my concern, it has been since even before Wanda left, because I saw what all had to be done in that office up front. And my concern is that we have somebody, that we can get somebody there, let Rebecca train that person since she knows it now, so that they will be capable of doing it and free her up to do what she has to do. Maybe hire the person out front in the system, maybe to answer the phone calls while she's learning all this other stuff.
That's kind of been the purpose for the last 12 months. We just haven't found that person
Haven't
yet.
found that right person. Well, I don't know. Nobody wants to do it.
I understand.
If y'all can do this and everything, maybe they'll do it.
We bought it.
But, even though sometimes we have to do it simultaneously but still, Facebook is good, but then there's a lot of people not on Facebook. And we could do, even if it's only 2 publications in the Dillon Herald, put it in as quick as we can, post on our boards. And we did all we can, so people that's not, Facebook, or people that's not traveling through town, I'm pretty sure it costs us a little money, but I'm pretty sure if we post a job, tell them that we need this posted ASAP, and we give them 2 or 3 days, they will post it for us in the Dillon Herald. And everybody will have an opportunity of this, the last minute or not, but we cleared ourselves. That's all it is, just clarification, communication movement.
You know, it might not be a bad thing to even ask on social media or here at council meeting. Y'all tell us. If I'm gonna give away $1,000, just because. Where would you, and I wanted to post it somewhere, where would you want to see it? Where would you see it fastest?
You get more.
Did you see it on Facebook, on Twitter? Did you see it in the paper, on the sign, a flyer? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think by you getting all your avenues and media outlets, it would be more effective. Because, like she said, everybody's not on social media. Everybody don't take the Dillon Herald. Everybody gets a shopper though. Everybody gets a shopper. And put it on the wall out there that at least if they're interested, they can come and see it. But try all 3 avenues. It's nothing but time, just a few minutes. Put it on social media. And then put it in the newspaper. Put it in the shopper. Now, when I was in the library, we would hit them all because we wanted people to know what we had to offer them. So it was a campaign, an advertisement campaign. And when you advertise, you use all your media outlets. You just don't do one. You use them all. So try it out. So we can get the best candidates for the job. That's my suggestion.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That's a lot. I forgot where we were.
I think we're on.
Is that me? Oh, okay, well, I don't have it. No, I wanted to say welcome to Command and Jason again. And as I said in both of your interviews, please reach out to us, use us. We're here to help. And I think we got a real good team now. So please, holler if you need something. That's it. Thank y'all for watching.
You need to say something there.
I just wanted to comment on the question. Kind of letting stuff out the bag a little bit. I've been talking about technology for a while. I'm not releasing nothing yet. But anyways, I'm looking into something for, as far as the police department, for cell phones. It's an app. And when we have something, we can send out something and then it go to whoever's, signed up to receive these text alerts, for a police department. So I don't know if that's an avenue that the town can maybe look at also for something later on down the road, and maybe it's something we can all get in on, but to play something that's TIP 411, so I don't think TIP 411 is somebody who puts a job advertising.
Right.
But it may be, I'm sure there's something else out there that is available to the town. That's the first thing. Second thing is whenever, just like I said, when I was getting my report, want to have to do something to make it where people won't become the work.
Absolutely.
For the town.
Absolutely.
In all honesty, you don't have to do it as much as you.
They got to feel like they're a part of us rather than I just work here. I don't know.
Well, not just that, and I'm just going to tell it like it is, some positions in town, you can go to Dollar General and make more money.
Yeah.
And it's just how it is. And that is something that never one of y'all will benefit because of the tax base. You're not going to, if I had to do something else, it's like we all talk, it's easier to do one thing one time than it is to do it reoccurring.
Right.
So what those incentives are going to be, I don't know. It's just food for thought. Thank y'all.
I don't have anything except this letter from Margie Barnes Harden about renaming Lightner Street. After our last meeting and we decided we could not do that, I wrote her and told her that. I have this letter again. Evidently she talked with somebody, she was made aware of the process to change the name when she spoke with a representative in City Council in January. And that was not me, so I don't know who she spoke with. But what she is requesting now is that we dedicate Lightner Street in memory of the late Reverend Luther and Annie Mae Mace Sr. And she said, I was told the process to dedicate my parents' names would be a better option to request. I was told, and I didn't tell her this in the letter that I wrote. I just told her we could not do it because of changing the names. Was told to if a dedication was approved, signs with their names would be placed under the Lightner Street signs at the beginning and at the end of the street. There would also be a ceremony by your office to put the signs in place.
I don't mean to be rude, but do we know who these people are? I don't know.
Well, I know the Mace family, I've talked to some of the children, I don't know these people, but that, to me, that's beside the point. If we start doing this on one street, then we're gonna have to do it for every street in town. I mean, because somebody on that street has contributed to the town of Latta in some way. You're gonna rename my street from Smith Street to Brigham Street? No, I don't want it to happen. But I mean, your street to Taylor Street instead of Bethea Street, after it's been Bethea Street for 100 years.
A bigger problem is in a few more days, we won't own these streets. It'll be a state issue now or dedicated to folks. And that can go back to our
That's
representative.
my answer.
There you go. Tell that.
Everybody in agreement with that, I give that answer to you?
Yes.
I'll get this back to her tomorrow. I mean, I'm sure that these people, I did not know them. The Mace family, you know, the children have did contribute to this whole stuff, and I think.
What's the last name again?
Mace.
Mace.
Yeah, and you, Trudy, you may have known. But I'm sure they contributed in some way, but there's so many people that are on that street too that probably have, like, Miss McDaniel, look what you're doing. Okay, thank you, that's all.
I just want to recognize our employees, on the agenda, and make it short and quick. Anything I can do to make the job better, let me know. Do the best you can. If you stumble, don't fall. If you fall, don't fail. Get up. I'm a public servant just as you. So we all at the same time, citizens of that. So if I can be of help, been around the block, and both of y'all caregivers. So if I can be of help to you, you can't get me if you don't ask. And to the citizens that showed up, thank you for showing up. We appreciate you coming. Continue. That's it. Somebody there?
I too want to welcome everybody tonight. Thank you all for coming and showing interest in your town. And I want to welcome Jermaine and Jason. Anything I can do to help you, let me know. And I have a couple of things. I was spoken to the Main Street property owners, and they're concerned about the appearance of Main Street. Is anything we can do regarding the appearance of Main Street, like pulling weeds and cutting the grass and the general appearance of Main Street? Can we ask Jason to do that?
I think Jason, well, that was, yes. Short answer to that, yes.
Leave those flower beds, that's what they're talking about.
And the flower garden next to the post office is maintained by gardeners. Those ladies are elderly and they can't do that. So if we can cut that grass, that'd be good too. One other thing, last month the lady from the county who lives on Calm Street said something about an 18-wheeler parked on Calm Street. Is that problem taken care of?
No. Yes and no. We're working on getting some signs put up. I think the problem, I was told by one of the officers, you can't stop a Bobcat truck from parking at a residence. Is that true?
I don't remember how to hold the trees.
If it's on their I think DOT says if it's up in their driveway,
Right.
but not out on the street, if it's up in their
It's on their
driveway.
property. I've been over there. The problem is, in getting from the street to the property, they're tearing up everything in between. And I don't know.
Streets now, so we're gonna be-
I'll ask, I meant to call around other municipalities and ask them what they do, but I don't think there's gonna be too much we can.
Where that truck parked is a bad deep mud over there.
It's huge, no
We
doubt.
haul dirt in there. I get the county hauling dirt fill that hole up, or is making a mess on the street?
The first thing we need to do is figure out what he can do at that truck, what he can't do. I'm pretty sure he can't pull that trailer down there and park it as he's been doing.
Well, he did another day one time, he had a bottle in it.
Yeah, the last week or so, it's been volatile. I'm glad it's been a volatile.
No trailer.
Trailer somewhere else.
Okay.
That's just means of getting home, just cutting the trailer loose, and there's some provisions in there where he can do that, but he can't keep continuing to mess up the property and the side of the road.
But
DOT, we have the right of way. What's messing up is the right of way. So we should be able to maintain that and we should be able to send him something to make him fix it back up and keep it up if he's going to be coming in and out. We should be able.
all right, that's all I have, thank you.
The last one, you good?
I'm good, yeah, I'm good. One, I just want to let everybody know that the town accounts, I paid bills the other night, and town accounts are actually in pretty good shape right now. Especially with, 4 or 5 months from now, we got taxes coming in again. Number two, I'm still waiting to get back from the lawyer about annexation. We had some people on Willow Street that want to get annexed into the town, so they can take advantage of some of our services and all. I'm still waiting to get back from the lawyer on that. And I'm let your main know that as I told Jason earlier, my office is on Main Street and we're open 8 to 5 on Friday. And if something comes up, we need one of us where you can come talk to us on by.
Okay.
Just tell my secretary to talk to me and she usually lets you in.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
About how many hours, let me on Wood Street, I make sure, on Wood Street, you think?
Based on the petition we received, we probably somewhere between 10 and 15. We're just trying to make sure that it's done legally because they changed the annexation law.
Just on the other side of the road?
Yeah. We're just trying to
They
make sure
changed the
that
annexation law?
With them,
Did you say that it changed the annexation law?
yeah, a few years back, they changed, it used to be you could annex anybody at any time, pretty much, they,
Jump in there.
where it has to either be contiguous or a certain percentage of the people in the area have to vote on it. We're just trying to make sure that we do it the legal way, and we say, yes, you can come in and then have a legal fight later. I'm waiting for our council to get back with us and give us the right advice, and then I can move forward with that. And that's all I have.
Okay, I guess that leaves me. I just want to talk about a few things real quick. First of all, thank you guys for coming. I'll echo that sentiment. I was at a county council meeting and I think we had more a lot of council members there than we had citizens of the county. So that's really neat to come and see everybody. It's nice to know somebody cares enough to come and sit with us and listen to us talk. Secondly, as many of you have seen already, we're well underway in phase 1 of our water and sewer renovations. We had a monthly update. 22nd of August was a Zoom meeting. The water guy, Ron, were you on that meeting? Did you? I can't see who's on the Zoom meeting. I'm not that great yet. Were you on that meeting? The 22nd? Wow, I can remember it then. I think the water guy is almost down to where Kennedy's funeral home is at. I know he was going to start to try to charge some of the lines. You guys can see as they're putting that water line down, it's a fairly substantial large water line. And as we go along the way, we're putting new fire hydrants down. Talk with Grandstone Water and Sewer. They're going to take the old fire hydrants that work, they're put them in different parts of the town to upgrade that. If you guys look real close, you can see some Driggers construction in town. That particular construction company will start blocking lanes off. So be careful driving through 301 because what we're doing is pipe bursting the sewer straight down 301. It's right in the middle. Not digging anything up, just going in there and destroying what's there and putting the brand new pipe down and dragging it as we go. So be real careful on the commute through 301. After that gets through, the plan is to start paving 301. After 301 gets paved, I think we're going to work on paving 917. A lot of you guys have seen some sidewalk work and some tree work on Main Street as you go down through town, especially on the west end. Sewer-wise, we have went through, I want to say most of the sewer with the cammering. They're compiling that data. There's some spots that the water folks are going to have to, it's kind of confusing, and I'm sorry, but there's some spots that the water folks have been contracted to go in and free up sewer parts in other parts of the town so that the cameras can get through. And that's going to start going underway as soon as they get through laying the water line. They're going to switch over and help the camera guys finish filming the rest of the sewer lines. Working on getting started on a brand new 300,000 gallon water tank out in left center, right center field, somewhere around center field, on the other side of the field on Henry Street. If you go out Henry Street right now, you can take a fishing pole, or if you've got a boat, you can ski behind it. There's roughly 18 or better inches of water sitting in the field. We're aware of it. Our engineers are aware of it. CSX is aware of it. What it is where one of the tie-lines that go under the railroad track has been obstructed. That part of the town is holding significant amounts of water, and they, CSX, they are aware of it, and they came out and looked at it with us a couple Fridays ago, and supposed to be sending plans back down to some part of Florida to get permission to come in and possibly put a new tie-line all the way under the railroad track. Church Street, if you go down Church Street, you'll see from the sidewalk to the asphalt, it looks like it's dying. There's a purpose for that, it's because it is dying. They're going to redo that. That's part of a public-private partnership, mostly carried out by the citizens of that road, and that's part of getting the trees replaced and grass replaced on that street. And the trees have been picked out. Saw them at the Rotary Club meeting on Tuesday. They look beautiful. I'm looking forward to seeing that get done. Trash problems. I've had a few folks come up to town hall incredibly mad about trash. I had some folks ask me why it was unfair that their trash didn't get picked up, and they went 10 days without getting their trash picked up. My answer was the truck could not make it to go pick it up. If you can't make it, you can't make it. I can't make the truck do what the truck can't do. In lieu of picking their trash up so they would have a trash disposal unit, we took 10 people brand new trash cans and told them that we would allow them to use that trash can and pick both of them up and take one trash can back the next week, to which the city of Dillon graciously allowed us to use their trash truck to go pick up everything, and we did everything. Airlines have been replaced in our trash truck. Is it back up and running now?
I have not talked to Andy today, I didn't get a chance to call him. I will talk to him tomorrow. It's sitting out front, so, I mean, it looks like it's finished good. It's not sitting inside now, so.
One other thing I would say is, please be very vigilant about the weather. We're hitting the months where we have experienced some really rough weather. The town ditches look grown up. They're not as grown up as what they look. It's just the grass is high on them. We'll work on cleaning them out. Flowing wise, but they're doing very well. But understand this, groundwater's up. We've had more rain this year than I think we've had in the previous 4 or 5 years put together. It seems like every day it's raining. So if you've experienced troubles in the past with storms, get your plan together now. Don't wait till the storm forms and then worry about what you're going to do. Think about it now. Think about what you've experienced. Think about what you went through twice before. Put your plan together. With that, I don't have anything else unless my council has any questions for me. So, at this point, I think we're at whosoever will. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns?
Hello, everyone. I thank you for the opportunity to be able to just come before you again. I want to say, first of all, you all doing a wonderful job. Police department, you're doing fine. The young man was parked out in front of my house one day, and I went out there and I said, honey, are you looking for someone in particular? And he said, no, I'm just sitting here, I'm trying to catch these speed demons going down your street. I said, okay, keep up the good work, but you need to come on the weekend, honey. Come on the weekend, then you can catch some of those dogs, okay? Because they are been running up and down my street, okay? Now, like I said, I think you all are doing a wonderful job. Mr. Jerry just went to the bathroom, so when he come out, just tell him I said he's doing a wonderful job. And another thing I'd like to say that, what is it? Just went over me. You know how the word flies over it? But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that you're doing a wonderful job. And I'm asking, and I come tonight to ask what is the status of our mobile home ordinance? If anyone has anything?
Give that to Jerry.
The update on that? I know he said we need to come up.
Yeah, I told her coming up that I hadn't had a chance to look at anything, the moratorium is still in place, and we'll get around to it. Hopefully by next meeting.
And I just tell the rest of you, you're doing a wonderful job. I'm so happy that you're getting our streets paved. It is about time. Lord have mercy. Too bad we can't charge the state for our cars, right? Okay? Well, as I said before, you're doing a wonderful job, and I thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you.
In response to her, I got something about one of the homes in North Carolina, our closing. Before I show you these pictures, that's around the three mobile homes that she showed. Everybody can afford a house, $200,000 house. That's surrounding those mobile homes that she showed a couple of weeks ago. And you put a decent mobile home in compared to this stuff that's next door and across the street from it. And you tell me that it's hurting the community to put a mobile home in town. I don't have a problem with rezoning. I have a problem with blocking mobile homes in the entire town. I have a problem.
Can we see those pictures?
Those are houses either next door to it, across the road from it. Each one of the three that they showed us last month. Next door, the house next door to it.
So what are you proposing to do about this for these properties?
They were saying that it was no labor problem. How can you lower that on the new trailer?
That's pretty little rate there.
That's my concern. I don't think it's going to have really want to lock trailers. I can understand it's only certain areas, but I feel it's wrong to block the whole house. Now, I'm going to go against it, but they had evidence, so I want to show evidence of what's around the three more homes that was there.
Can I come back up?
This was not one of my homes.
And you know who owns this property?
Okay, let me ask you what zones did, I just want to know what zones did
ma'am.
Zone two.
Yes,
Okay, now, you can go into zone one and you will find the same type homes in those zone one. But they are in a zone one area. Okay? So, why is it that even in the zone one areas, there are people that can afford $100,000, but according to the city, they're still in the zone one.
And
So why is it that you cannot just make the whole city zone one, make the whole city zone one? We are not the only city that has a zone one city limit. Okay? Now, it is a common knowledge already in the city that no mobile homes are allowed in the city limits. Everybody that I went to, they said, well, it's already an ordinance. Mobile homes are not supposed to be in town. Then they said, well, what happened? So I said, well, I think it was Mr. Drummond that allowed his daughter to put a trailer house in there, an exception. And when you start opening up exceptions, then everybody's situation is an exception. Everybody's situation is an exception. And then you're going to open up Pandora's box. Even your own, the people in your community said that Mr. Drummond, he's the one that's bringing all these homes in here. We don't want them. We don't want that. But they're not saying anything to you, but they're talking about behind your back.
I don't have a problem with them talking about.
Well, I'm just saying the same thing. One thing, they can put their, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a trailer house. Anybody can live in a trailer house. Even I would live in a trailer house. When I live in that trailer house, it will look just like it's $100,000 house. Sometimes you have to realize the systemic racism that's going on in our cities. And this is how we get all locked into it. Because what's going to happen? Okay, you say, okay, nobody can afford $100,000. So they go and they get a mobile home. Oh, it's cheap. I can afford this. Yeah, I can afford it. But what kind of job do I have? I don't even have a job that's paying enough money to pay the mortgage on this mobile home. So what do I do now? Okay, my mobile home is going down. I'm only making minimum wage. So now what do I have to do? I have to go over here to this loan company that's going to charge me 20%. 20% interest on my mortgage. And I'm just making enough money to feed the people, to keep a roof over their head, to put lights on, to keep lights on. And so I'm constantly going into the hole over and over because sometimes you have to take baby steps. Baby steps. When you move too fast, when you move ahead of God, then you get in trouble. Now what we should be working towards in this little city is trying to get some decent housing for the residents in this community. These people don't make a lot of money. You know they don't make a lot of money. So why not try and find some way of giving them a home that's decent? They don't have to worry about trying to feed the family, trying to keep the kids in school, putting clothes on their back, and their rents will be at least based on their income.
All right, man, you made your case. Now, I'm gonna finish. I agree with part of this, but everybody cannot afford this. And I let you talk. Now, everybody can't afford this, and that's what you just said. If you can't afford a trailer house, how can you afford a $250,000 home? Same difference.
I didn't think you had to get it to.
Well, how can I afford a house? Let me finish now. How can you afford a house when you can't afford a trailer? You have to crawl, like you said, before you walk. I have no problem with zoning or rezoning certain areas, but I have a problem in my heart because I know the people in that. Some of them are struggling to pay for the trailer, some of them struggling to pay for the rent. But if you build a house, that's going to be much more than a tree. And you said that Mr. Drummond changed. Mr. Drummond didn't change, he didn't have anything changed. When he requested the town, he went to the zoning committee, found out what they had there, got permission to put it in, they looked into it. The citizens of that neighborhood, I walked the street, I asked them personally, if you have a problem with putting a decent trailer on this lot, if you have a problem from one end in the street to the other end in the street, I had no opposing. There are 3 or 4 houses on Henry Street, a couple trailer houses on Henry Street now that would not have been there, would not have been blown up. As these places are, if you would have put a trailer in it. If there was a way to put a house in there, it would have been blown up and the town would have been as a jungle. Because personally, I wouldn't have been able to build a house and put down myself. I'm talking from experience. I just disagree with what you're trying to do. If the council decided to block it, more power to it. But until you show me something different, I'm the neighbor. And I'm resting. You 5 yours, I'll 5 mine, and we will still be neighbors and friends. But I'm doing what I feel like the citizens allowed to want me to do.
Well, I think Mr. Jerry had a good example, had a good suggestion the other day when he said that he tried to get some low-income housing in this area.
That's good.
And the people blocked it. Why? It's because it was in that area where the sewer was. They didn't want it in that area. But if you find another area that is a decent area, I think people in Latta would accept some low-income homes here in this area. The people need some place to live. They need some place to live. We only got one decent place for seniors to live, and that's over there on Marion Street. On Marion Street. And there are lots of people that need to move into those senior facility, but they don't have enough units. So we need more. We need more. Come on, y'all. It's easy to do what's right. It's easy. It's always easy to do what's right.
They can't seem to find the property to put it on, that somebody's willing to put that, I think that's the main reason.
Well, we got some property on this side of town.
I don't know who owns it, or if they would sell it.
What's his name that used to farm this land right here? What's his name? Greg.
Yeah, but I don't own that land, so I can't.
No, I'm not saying that you own it. I'm just saying we can look for some land. There's enough land in Latta so we can find some land. Now, where else?
Anybody else got anything they want to say?
Go ahead.
Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Any second? All in favor?
Aye.